Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. First of all, forgive the shocking outfit today. It's the golf polo. Sundays, golf days with the boys, so I've just got back off the golf course. Now, the title of this video, and I'll give you some context around it first. So, about probably 18 months ago, I started watching this YouTuber who had a series, and I'll pop the first episode up on the screen here. He's obviously from the US, but it was $400 into a Ferrari. And I'd sort of always been wanting to do something similar, but had nothing really to hold me accountable. So hence the name of this video, $600 into a Supra. The plan is, I was sort of talking to someone about this at one of my mates on the golf course, geez, back in probably January, I reckon it was, January this year. We're having a chat about it. I said, oh, this YouTuber, $400 into a Ferrari. He is essentially got a small car yard in the US and spent $400 on his first car with a plan to flip, keep flipping, buy multiple cars, flip those, and eventually, hopefully, have enough profit or capital to buy himself a Ferrari. And I thought, what a cool challenge. Like, I work in the automotive industry, and I was thinking maybe I'll give that a try. I'm pretty handy at detailing cars. I can change a car's oil. That's about as far as the mechanical side gets. And I think if you're going to be flipping those lower end cars to start off with, you've got to have some serious mechanical knowledge, or at least a solid mechanical knowledge so you can make it work. So I thought, nah, I won't do that. And he goes, well, what about, this is back in January this year, and he goes, well, what about your Pokemon cards? And I said, yeah, I'll give it some thought. So anyway, February comes around, so 6 months ago, and I said, well, let's give it a crack. I really want to give it a crack. I want to spend 600. I said 600 into a Supra because I work for Toyota. Love the Toyota brand, and I've always loved the mark for Supra ever since it was sort of on the first Fast and Furious movie. So give me a bit of a thumbs up if you love a Supra. Anyway, we get a company car, so I don't really need a car, but it would be sweet to have a Mark IV Supra in the garage. So I thought, you know what? Let's give this a bit of a crack. $600 into a Supra. Now, I've had a YouTube channel for a while, and back in the day when Pokemon Go was going, I think I posted some clips of some shorts, and a few of them went, I wouldn't say viral, but a few of them got a couple of views, which obviously views with shorts leads to a few subscribers. Well, back then they weren't even shorts, but they were converted into shorts later on. I think they were still videos then. I don't really think shorts was a thing back in 2016 or however long it was ago now that Pokemon Go came out. But anyway, long story short, there was two components to this little bet, I guess, with a mate from the golf course. First of all, can we turn $600 into a Supra, and what's the time frame going to be? Now, the rules were sort of as so. I said, well, I think I want to start giving YouTube a bit of a go. I've been collecting cards for so long now and opening and selling them. I think I've got some knowledge to share. I don't know whether anyone wants to listen to me, but I want to give it a crack. So he said, well, this was the bet. Basically, well, not a bet, but this was the plan. $600 to spend on Pokemon cards and a YouTube channel. And you've got 3 years to do it. So the bet ended up starting this February, and so that's when I bought at the end of February. So what are we, March, April, May, June, July? We're not even quite 6 months yet. We're sort of 5 months in, really. I bought at the end of February, but I didn't really start the YouTube channel until April. I was really hesitant. I'm not the world's most outgoing person. It is hard, by the way, putting your face in front of a camera and just talking into it. I'm getting a little bit more comfortable at it now than what I was before. But that was the plan. $600 into a Supra. So I want to break down in a second what I spent that money on, and also as a small YouTuber, hopefully going to grow though, as a small YouTuber, how hard it is, I guess, to crack that monetization sort of barrier and then also start earning. So I'm going to jump into what I bought first. This is what I decided to spend $600 on. I'm going to bring them up in US dollars and Australian dollars. It was 600 US though. That was the plan, because it's 600 Australian doesn't really buy you much. So what I bought, 2 Chilling Reign booster boxes, and I got these at 128 US a piece back late February. They're up, well, you can't see them, but they're on my eBay account. That's where I bought them from, eBay. So I got them posted, included, at $195 Australian back late February this year. The second thing I bought was 2 Charizard UPCs. Was it the best buy? Maybe not. They've sort of been stagnant since I bought them, but I'll chat a bit more about this one shortly when we go through to what they're worth now, but I got them at $104 each. They're not as cheap in Australia as they are on the US. That works out to be about $165 posted Australian. And the third thing I bought was 1 Lost Origin booster box at $123 US, which is $185 Australian delivered. So that's the 3 sort of big ticket items: 2 Chilling Reign boosters, 2 Charizard UPCs, 1 Lost Origin booster box, and I had a tiny bit of funds left over from that 600 US, which mind you is a touch over 900 Australian. So I ended up getting one of these, an Evolving Skies check lane with the Eevee promo inside there and the coin. That was, I think, $12 US. So total, when you add all of them up, 2 Chilling Reign, 2 Charizard UPCs, 1 Lost Origin, and the Evolving Skies check lane blister is $599 US. So I had $1 to spare, which works out to be 910 Australian dollars. Now, where do they sit now? Currently, a Chilling Reign booster box is $145 US. So per booster box, we are plus 17 US dollars, or plus 34 because there's 2 of them. So $34 up on our Chilling Reign booster boxes. Now I know, there's fees and postage that comes into play when it's time to sell these things. I've got a bit of a plan, which I'll talk through at the end here though. Second one coming up, the Charizard UPCs. So they're currently sitting bang on $100 US. So if you work off TCG Player, we are minus $4 per Charizard UPC, or overall we're minus 8 because I bought 2 of them. Third item I bought was the Lost Origin booster box at $123 US. That's currently $140 US. It has dipped back a little bit after that reprint, sort of, when was that, 5-6 weeks ago now, I think. So currently market price $140, so I'm plus $17 on my Lost Origin booster box, and the Evolving Skies check lane blister is currently sitting at $15.50. So if you do the sums there, we are $3.50 up on the Evolving Skies check lane blister. Now overall, my $599 that I spent, so $600 into a Supra, $600 roughly that I spent is now worth $645.50. So I am $46.50 up. In Australian dollars, that's $979.50. So 910 Australian to 979.50, or 600 US to 645.50 US. If you do the sums, you know, that's not even quite 10% yet. So it's nearly enough to cover the eBay fees if I happen to sell them on there. But of course, there's other avenues to sell cards, you know, and sealed product. There's, in Australia, we have a site like Gumtree, which is similar to the US's Craigslist, I guess. There's also, of course, Facebook Marketplace and some other things. So we do have to factor that into account. When we sell them, there's always going to be a little bit of a cost attached to it. But anyway, that was one part of the equation. The second part of the equation was the YouTube side of it. Now, there's a bit of a lag. Like I said, I didn't really start until maybe mid-April, maybe late April. It was mid to late April is when I actually started. I think I posted the first thing again. First thing I've probably posted on YouTube in 7 years. I certainly wasn't monetized. I did have a few subscribers when I started, which, like I said, was a hangover, or carryover, I should say, back when I used to post a couple of Pokemon Go videos way back in the day. So I did have a few subscribers, but of course, as you're aware, the monetization rules for YouTube is 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. So I actually already had the 1,000 subscribers, although none of them were active. Like, if I posted a video, none of them would watch it. So it was pretty much like starting from fresh. And I think we grew, what did we do? We just ticked over 4,000 subscribers. So first of all, I wanted to say thanks heaps for everyone that watches. Thanks heaps everyone that contributes by liking or sharing or commenting I don't really know exactly how the YouTube algorithm works, but like anything else, I can come to the conclusion sort of that the more people sort of interact with your content or watch your content, I'm sure in some way, shape or form, that algorithm would say, well, people are engaging with you, therefore it'll start to snowball and maybe be pushed to more people. So first of all, thanks heaps everyone that watches. The 4,000 watch hours was the challenge. That is not easy. I think I worked out it equates to about 50,000 views at 6 minutes. Something like that anyway. It should be pretty close. 4,000 hours is about 50,000 views at 6 minutes, which is a fair bit of watching. So again, we only ticked over that about 2 weeks ago, and I just applied for the YouTube partner program and finally got successful. Now, I think it's been 8 days, 8 days of getting, I suppose, some sort of ad revenue. So out of those two components, yes, we're up a little bit on the $600 to a Supra. And then the other part of it was I can use any money that I make from YouTube to help fund that Supra, I guess, for lack of a better word. Are we going to get there? I don't know. Am I going to try? Of course. And who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? For anyone that's watching, though, I suppose it's a little bit of a, you've got to make yourself accountable if you want to set some sort of goal, especially in the Pokemon investing world. I chose this $600 because I really believe in Chilling Reign. I think it's not far away from a pretty hefty uptick. Well, I hope it is anyway. It has some beautiful old art cards inside it. It's gone up a little bit now, but back in February, boxes with some discount codes on YouTube was still somewhere around that $200 or a touch under, so hence 195 Australian or 128 US. I think it's due for an uptick. Some amazing alternate arts, some also good waifu cards, which seem to help a set these days. The Charizard UPCs, time frame's 3 years. That's why I bought into them. I think in 3 years' time, the Charizard UPC is actually going to be ticking along quite well. It has some great Sword and Shield sets inside it. It has 3 absolute banger promos. It's a unique product. We all know it got 2 massive, massive print waves, and as everyone said, it got printed into the ground, and hence why it's probably remained stagnant for the last 6 months. But I think it's going to be one hell of a box to stream down in the future, which is going to help its value rise. And the Lost Origin set is another great set. The recent reprint hasn't really seemed to have affected prices all that much. So that's one that I can really see growing. It's got a great trainer gallery. It's got 2 awesome alternate arts with that Giratina and Aerodactyl. I like the vibe to it, that hence the Lost Origin name, that old sort of feels like a time gone by in the past. And of course, I just had a little bit of change. I didn't think there was much better than the Evolving Skies EV check lane. Check lanes can do really well in 3 years' time. I don't expect this $600 will buy me a Supra, but in 3 years' time, these are my predictions. I really think in 3 years, a Chilling Reign booster box will be somewhere around, I don't like to predict, but I think it'll be somewhere around 200 to 250 US dollars, maybe sort of around that 350 Australian mark. I think the Charizard UPC will be a slow climber, but after 12 months, I think we'll start see it pushing towards, I think also that might be 180 to 200 US. I think the Lost Origin booster box will be somewhere around, probably in a similar sort of place, to be honest, 200 US. And the Evolving Skies check lane blister, who knows, it might be 25 US in 3 years' time or 30 US in 3 years' time. Long story short, though, I expect to, in 3 years, double that money. And that money from the start is what's going to be used, hopefully, towards the Supra. So I'm expecting to turn the 600 in 3 years maybe into 1,200. Right? Now, the rest of that, 1,200 US dollars, which is close to 2,000 Australian, is not going to buy you a Supra. It might buy you a rear wing for a Supra. The rest of that has to come from this channel. Now, if you're a small YouTuber, and I see heaps of them on here, obviously when you focus on some sort of content area, especially when it comes to Pokemon cards, you see all the other small Pokemon channels. And I just wanted to say, a big thanks to everyone else in the community that has channels. keep going for it. It's not easy. You know, one video, for argument's sake, can sometimes take about 3 hours, especially if there's a bit of data in it. And I don't have heaps of equipment. You know, I just film off my Samsung Galaxy, whatever they're up to now, the newest one. Is it S23 Plus or whatever it's up to? But anyway, that's what I film off. So, you know, there's not heaps of fancy editing in my videos, but I'm sure some people do a bit more editing. You know, they could spend 5, 6, 7, 8 hours on a video. And with what reward? Not much monetary reward when you're a small YouTuber. So that's the plan. 3 years, hoping to double my money on the cards that I've bought, the sealed product that I've bought. And then secondly, I'm really hoping to grow this YouTube channel to a place where maybe that can happen. And look, there may have been a little bet placed with this guy on golf, whether it can be achieved or can't be achieved. You know, we've known each other for a long, long time. So in 3 years' time, we ain't going anywhere. We're still going to know each other. I'll probably owe him something. I can't see myself doing it, but I'm going to keep you updated with a little bit, you know, it'll be sort of part 2 and then part 3 as we move along to A, check in on what the sealed prices are doing, and B, sort of check in how the monetization with YouTube's going. So are we going to get there? Won't be from a lack of trying. I'm certainly skeptical whether it's going to happen or not. I might owe this guy a case of beer and a box of golf balls. But hey, I might also have a case of beer and a box of golf balls sitting on the front seat of a Supra if I end up beating him. So anyway, thanks again for everyone watching. It really means a lot. We've made 4,000 subscribers. I finally got monetized. I certainly can't leave my job because at the moment it equates to about $5 a day that YouTube gets me. But we'll keep ticking along. Thanks again, guys. Ta.